everybody, Liz here and welcome to my channel. So I look like a crazy person, I know. I am actually getting ready and filming at the same time because multitasking, and it's good for the environment to do two things at once, right? Or whatever, how that works. So today I'm going to be talking about what I'm going to be working on and what's going to be happening with me at Camp NANOWRIMO or Camp NANOWRIMO. I don't know how to say that 100%, but basically I'm going to talk about my writing and all that stuff. So if you guys hear weird breathing or anything like that, it's my little cousins that they are in here watching me. So let me see if I can have them say hi. Say hi. Say hi. They're shy all of a sudden. So yes, so I am doing Camp NANOWRIMO, however you say it, for the very first time ever. So I've never done NANOWRIMO, which is the one that happens in November, and I decided, what the hell, I'm going to try and do Camp NANOWRIMO. And I actually started with Francine on Twitter, and if you guys don't know who she is, I'm gonna link her down below. She also has a YouTube channel and she's great, so I'm just gonna start doing makeup. Yeah, she was talking about doing the camp, and joking around, I was like, can I like join your camp or whatever? And then it kind of just escalated from there, and then we had Lindsay from the Hufflepuffle, if I messed your name up, I'm sorry, also join in, and then we had Dylan also, so it was like 4 of us, and then we ended up opening up the chat, and yeah, so now we are, I don't know how many people are in our camp, which is really bad, but there is a few of us, and we're doing Camp NANOWRIMO together. That starts next week. Today is the 25th whenever I'm filming this. So we're starting in about a week, and I guess I'm going to talk about like my writing and stuff, and what I wish to get out of NANOWRIMO, and just in general in my writing. Like I said, I've never done NANOWRIMO. I've never done any kind of like writing challenge. The only writing challenges I've ever had have been like in school, which I guess don't really count, but whatever. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about like my writing and just me before I get started with my like actual whip or whatever, which is, whip is really funny, like a word, just saying. I actually have liked to write for a really long time, but I never really saw my talent for it, or just talent in general, and so I've never really pursued it as like a thing until recently. So until about 3 years ago when I turned about 20. I was about to be 20 when I decided that I wanted to write for a living, or I wanted to write and I wanted other people to read my work. So basically like right about the time that I turned 20. It was mostly poetry at the time that I was writing, and it was just kind of to get through emotional stuff. And
I have no upper lip with this makeup on, I just realized.
So it was all about just kind of dealing with my emotional stuff, you know?
And yes, my eyebrows are crap right now because I haven't gotten them done, so it's gonna take a while for my eyebrows.
That's when I started writing, and then that very year I also started I started college. So I started college and I took my first English class as like an adult or whatever, and my teacher, Mr. Henry, actually introduced me to Charles Bukowski. Through Charles Bukowski, I realized that poetry didn't have to be like this super soft thing or whatever, so that led me to be like more honest with my writing. And I've talked about this before in another video about books that changed my life, and it was like his work or whatever that changed my life a little bit. I'm saying "and" so many times because I'm trying not to like mess my eyebrows up. So that led to me starting poetry or whatever, and then the poetry led to this crazy idea started floating in my head about this crazy lady, not crazy lady, but this lady who like fights bad people. And you know, at first it was like a complete and utter mess, honestly. Like the few times I started actually trying to write this, it was just a disaster, quite frankly. So I did try to like write, and just never worked out. So it wasn't until this past year, or like 2 semesters ago now, that I took a creative writing class, and I realized, oh my god, I actually can have what it takes to write, or like actually write a story. So that summer, which was this past summer, I decided to like really start working on something, get like character ideas and, you know, plot points kind of figured out and all that wonderful stuff. So I started, and then I wasn't happy with that, so I kind of just scratched it and started all over this beginning of the year. That's actually what I'm going to be writing for NANOWRIMO, for Camp NANOWRIMO. I am currently, last time I checked, which is a few hours ago, at 25,000 words. So it's not a lot. I mean, for 2 months of work, I guess it's decent, but it's definitely not what some people have. But it's coming along, okay? Coming along. I have my character profile, or my like camp profile. My work in progress is working title is actually Fire and Blood, but I may end up changing that because everybody says that it's really generic, or like the words fire and blood are like hella generic, which they are, quite frankly, especially now in age when everybody is talking about like fire and blood. So it's really generic. So it's a working title. I was really proud because I was like, oh, I have a title and I have like, you know, my story or whatever. And then someone tweeted like, how unoriginal, can we please land?
That, my eyebrows look so bad, guys. God.
So I might end up changing the title. So let me actually tell you what the hell it is I'm writing about, or like an idea. It is a fantasy novel. So I never thought I would write fantasy because I love to read romance. That's kind of what started this whole crazy reading thing. But I apparently suck at writing romance. At least I think I do. I don't think I have a knack for it at all. As you can see, this is taking me like a million years to do my eyebrows because I'm really anal about them. I wasn't a huge fan of fantasy. So I was quite surprised when that is exactly what I wanted to do because I'm not a huge fan of them or whatever. So I was like, are you really gonna go down this path, Elizabeth? Are you really gonna go down this whole like rabbit hole? And I was like, yeah, you're going there. You're gonna go there. Why? Because I want to make all the rules on what's going on, what like my monsters are or whatever. So I was like, yeah, you're going there. So I mean, my eyebrows look decent, right? Whatever. We're gonna move on because if not, I'm never gonna finish writing fantasy. It's definitely something different. It's weird because I get to make all the rules, but it's weird in a good way. But it's also really weird because I make all the rules. And I was like, so we're really going there right now, or like we're not going there? Like that's not how the magic works or whatever. That has been interesting. But like I always joke around, I feel like a god because I'm making everything up. So I'm getting off track here and I feel like I'm just going on and on and on, and I'm sorry.
Can you edit this out? Well, can I come out? Yes. So I just have people wanting to watch me today. I don't even know how much I've said or haven't said.
So anyways, any fantasy has been interesting in the best way so far. Like I said, I'm not very ahead, like I'm not very deep into like what the hell's going on. I don't even know how this story is ending yet, but my goal for Camp NaNoWRIMO is 40,000 more words than I already have. So how much is that? Like 65,000 words by the end of the month. But like knowing me, that's really quite unlikely. As you can see, I'm trash at doing my makeup because I'm not even trying, and I'm gonna go out later. Like, you see how shiny my forehead is? Like, ugh. So now I'm gonna move on to my eyeliner, which is the tricky part because eyeliner is very tricky. So I'm trying to have 65k words at the end of this. So the hardest part for me is going to be balancing like the intensive writing that I'm trying to get in and also like working both jobs and going to school full-time. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
Oh my god, I already messed up.
Going to be interesting to see how I'm going to balance that out. I'm sure it'll be fine if I put off everything else in my life, like reading and just sleeping, which I'm fine with. I mean, I already don't sleep.
Oh my god, my eyeliner's gonna look so bad.
Yeah, this side is way too thick and I'm not happy with my eyeliner, but whatever, it's fine. I'm not gonna cry. Literally just fucked up again, but it's fine. It's fine. We're not gonna cry. It is going to be very difficult balancing all of it, but I am actually looking forward to the challenge of, you know, having to balance everything out because of, you know, just adulting and being an adult and trying not to, you know, be broke all the damn time. I'm going to try to get all that in. So it's taking me 2 months to get 25k. So, I mean, at this point, do you really think? I know it's supposed to be a challenge. It definitely is going to be because that is a lot of words. That's actually twice what I have now. I'm trying to fix this trash liner that I have going on. So it's going to be interesting trying to get more than I already have, like twice basically what I have written already. So that's going to be interesting very, very much. I'm hoping to get everything done. I might just end up like scratching half the stuff that I wrote anyway, but who fucking knows? I don't. I'm probably not even gonna get to 25,000 words again because life is going to suck. I feel it. When you need to get stuff done is when life decides that it does not want you to do stuff at all. And my eyeliner is still disgusting, so that's also nice. I still haven't talked about what the fuck I'm writing, and I probably should talk about that. So, fantasy, like I've said like 10 times already. And it is a story that involves, let me see if I can get this. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna stop trying to fuck up my eyeliner. So just a story about, well, it follows two main characters who I have the most fun writing, and that is actually a male protagonist, but I'll tell you guys why. And his name is Kato. So Kato is a little white boy. I know. Not what you think. He is a little white boy who is a prince. Oh, I'm not selling this very well, am I? He gets basically sold off or traded by his father for a treaty to my other main protagonist, who her name is Estli. And yes, that is a very weird sounding name. It is actually an Aztec name, like a legit Aztec name. So her name is Estli. So we have Kato, which is my little white boy, and Estli, who is my other. So it mainly follows them two, and it also follows everybody else. So I'm writing in first and in third person. So that's going to also be interesting. That's also proven to be somewhat of a challenge. Okay, my eyeliner looks as best as it's going to look today. We have our little white boy, Kato. He's not little, he's like 18, 19 years old. I still haven't really figured out how old he is. He's still pretty young. And he is a lot of fun to write. He is a newcomer to kind of the entire other world. He's kind of been secluded for most of his life up in the snowlands, or where he's from. He has kind of not known anything about anybody in any other place around, you know, where they're from. So I actually is a fantasy, so like every fantasy place has a really cool name. We have like Westeros and like Middle Earth or whatever. So my fantasy world name is Tenebros, and yes, that sounds really Spanish because it is.
I was gonna say that.
Yes, it sounds very Spanish. It literally means dark, like darkness in Latin. And then like tenebro is also like an art term, which means like dark colors. So haha, I'm so clever. It's tenebros, and he lives literally like in the northwest part of this world, and he has not seen anything or been outside of this place.
So sorry.
For his she's so no stop it. He hasn't been out of this place in his entire existence. So he only knows what he's seen growing up. It's really fun to write him, like I was saying, because he is basically like, he is seeing the world for the first time. So you're seeing everything through his eyes for the first time. Like I said, he hasn't been out of this like place forever. So he's never been allowed to. So he is kind of who we're seeing everything with. So like, he is my little like guide, my person that I'm going to be like info dumping, I guess. Everything basically, because he is, and also he is really fun to write because he is a prince and he is spoiled AF and he just loves to complain. And I think it's so funny that he just loves to complain, and then he gets super surprised on who he ends up liking. He's super duper fun to write, but he's also really annoying to write because he's so self-centered and the world revolves around him and his feelings and his emotions. So he's interesting and good to write, but he's also quite observant, which really contradicts with the whole being selfish, you know? So now we have Estli, who is a badass warrior-ess. So in my world, there are these creatures, people, fighters, warriors, called hellhounds. And yes, hellhounds sounds like a really bad thing, but they aren't. Yes, I'm using my fingers because I don't know how to put on makeup. So they're hellhounds. So I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Supernatural episode of hellhounds. I've always been in love with the idea of them, like the name and just kind of what they represent. They're like guardians of death, and they're always associated to be really bad, but like, you know, they're kind of just doing their job. So in my world, they're not necessarily evil. Actually, they aren't. They're very morally ambiguous, very morally gray, but they aren't evil. So they are kind of like superhuman people who protect the world from these things called Irites. So Irites are my version of demons. And they fight demons and they fight bad people like slavers and, you know, people that wish kids harm. Estli is a hellhound. She is a leader, a lieutenant, an alpha in this world. So she is, like I said, she's a hellhound. And she has had a very troubled past, to say the least. Unfortunately, she has not had it easy in this world. Like I said, there are still things like slavers and, you know, sex traffickers and all that horrible stuff. She is charged with bringing those people to justice. Okay, but in this world, my hellhounds, because of something that happened, are not very liked. So I'm putting on a lot of blush because this blush sucks. So I'm kind of done with my face. My lipstick doesn't go on until after I've done my hair because it gets stuck on my hair. So now we're moving on to the fun part, which is my hair. And I can't believe I'm still talking, and I'm so sorry that I'm subjecting you to this. So yes, so they're not very well liked. Bam, look at. Whew. So they're not very well liked by the people in the Negros because of who they are and about some stuff that happened obviously before in the past. So they're not very well liked. So they kind of have to function in the shadows. So she's already kind of a bad person, not a bad person, she's a morally ambiguous person. So what I'm doing is I'm like brushing my hair out, guys, because this is the funnest part in the world. No, it's not. It's really annoying because my hair doesn't cooperate. Okay, and she is, like I said, a lieutenant, and she has these other hounds that follow her around. So I based that, I'm still basing it off because I'm not done with it, of course, on, I was in the military, if you guys didn't know, so loosely on kind of the military structure of the army. So the way that like subordinates and just the ranking system kind of works. So they're kind of a militaristic thing. The best way I can describe what like the hellhounds are is like the military meets like the shadow hunters is the best way I can put it. I have no idea like how else I can. They're an order. So they have the Order of Mort, which is literally the Order of Death. They worship, I also created an entire religion system for them, this entity called the All-Mother. So she is the creator, and she's kind of who brought them into the world to being, at least that's what they believe. And again, like all of these creatures, all of these places have that. So I have places inspired by different parts of the world. So I based off like the northern lands, the snowlands. I based that off slightly off of European and like Russian. I know that's such a bad description, but I took some elements from like the monarchs of each of them. I have a place inspired by ancient Egypt and its surrounding neighbors. So we have an entire place kind of like that. I'm really having a lot of fun with that place, even though I haven't even introduced it yet. I have a place kind of based off of Japan, very slightly. I mean, I know Japan is an island, which again, I'm really just not really good at this on my, but kind of a little bit of the culture and the customs that I am familiar with there. Obviously not exactly but off of that slightly. I have an entire set of islands based off of different kind of island people or islanders. I don't even know when to stop recording, so it's nice. So I don't know what I captured or didn't, so I'm just gonna go with, and all my worlds are inspired off of different things. We have a place inspired by Aztec and like ancient Latin American civilizations, and that's kind of mainly what most of these are kind of based off of, because I feel like there is a lack of representation of my culture and the culture of my people. And I know that sounds really funny, but in reality it's true. A lot of my monsters are based off of monsters I grew up listening about. So I have a monster that is very similar to La Llorona, or what we think about when we think about La Llorona, which has been a lot of fun to write because it's one of the first monsters that I introduced that I've already written about. So we have that. We have an entire place based off of that, but a lot of like the customs of the hellhounds are, and a lot of the monsters that they fight are based off of Latin American mythologies and monsters that I've grown up listening to or that I've looked up in the recent years. We have a lot of like the magic and the way that magic works kind of with the Latin American cultures. So that's been a lot of fun. A lot of the stuff is like in Spanish too. At least I'm trying to incorporate more. I don't know. I don't know what I exactly was going with this, but I am very excited to be working on Camp NANOWRIMO and working with these lovely ladies that I'll be working with. I will, like I said, I'll link their videos and their channels down below so you guys can check them out. Now I'm just doing my hair. Okay. I didn't even finish telling you guys about Esley, did I? I'm telling you, I'm just all over the place and I am just a mess, like my makeup and my hair. I am super excited to hopefully get done and complete my goal for NaNoWRIMO. I hope that I do justice to my culture through my novel and my works, because I am using them as a huge, like, I'm just super excited to work on this. Oh my god! And I'm sorry that this video is just so long and ridiculous and pointless, and I hope that you've stayed this long because I've technically not even done. I've rambled on ridiculously, but I feel like that is just who I am as a person as well, a rambler. So my camera actually overheated, so I just changed into the shirt I'm gonna be wearing tonight, and I haven't even put on my lipstick because I've just been procrastinating. So this video is already extra long, I'm sorry, but I think I said everything that I wanted to say about NaNoWRIMO. We're gonna be doing live videos to live shows, probably on Francine's channel or on anybody's channels I think aside from mine, because I am the one with the least subscriber count, and you know, you kind of want people to watch that stuff. So you guys can always just watch me there and do that. So y'all, this is like my favorite lipstick. It is Kiss Matte by Milani, so if you guys are wondering. It actually looks a lot better than this. It looks really orange in this video, but it's not. I promise it's not orange. It's very, very fiery red. I'm looking forward to working during NaNoWRIMO and figuring out my whole schedule and how all it's gonna work. I am excited to hopefully reach even half the word count that I have left and kind of balance everything out with NaNoWRIMO. I hope that my pitch for my story sounds okay. I know I rambled and I didn't really say what was going on, what was I talking about, but I hope it made sense. If not, you know, it happens, it happens. If anybody else is doing Camp NaNoWRIMO, tell me about your story. Yeah, so yes, I am trying to clean off my teeth. I realize this lighting is really bad, guys, and I'm sorry. But yes, excited for NaNoWRIMO. I've said that a million times. I hope that you guys are excited. I might do like vlogs, maybe, perhaps, depending on how everything's going and how much writing I actually get done during the month. I'm super excited to kind of update you guys on what has changed, what hasn't changed during NaNoWRIMO, on my story, on my plot, on how everything's working. I know I didn't tell you guys about my plot, but right now it's kind of concise. It's kind of going somewhere. I don't know how anything is ending yet. I just know that I love my characters and that my characters are a lot of fun to write, and that my world building is a lot of fun because I get to make up a lot of the stuff, as well as kind of like look and see and borrow from my culture and, you know, all these wonderful cultures that we don't really know about. But yes, I'm done getting ready. I don't know if you guys can see my hair very well and my makeup, which is not that great. I'm really shiny, but you know, that's what you get for being greasy, Liz. So that is all for me on Camp NaNoWRIMO. I talk way too much. I'm so sorry. I hope I could brought this video down enough. No guarantees though, because it's ridiculously long. But yes, if you guys like this video, feel free to hit that like button. If you guys want to see more of my face, more of my experiences during Camp NaNoWRIMO, or just any of my videos reviewing, talking about books, because I really don't review, I kind of just talk about them, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. I would highly, highly appreciate it. If not, that is all for me. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and happy readings and happy writings during Camp NaNoWRIMO. Adios!